His name is Silas. He's one of the 5 husbandos in Love and Deep Space.
How do you expect me to respond to your aimless flirtation? As a tamer, don't be so stingy.
It's because of them that these 5 husbandos made Love and Deep Space a whopping 780 millions in just 1 year. Let's put that into perspective because that's an insane amount of money. Do you remember Pokemon Go? These husbandos made 120 millions more than Pokemon Go in 1 year. Have you ever watched a movie or even played a game and after that you think to yourself, wow, I wish this person was right here. I think that we would get along in real life. I felt that way, I had a crush on Badminton Prince.
I wanted to go on a date with him.
What about you? Tell me, who would that character be and why? The other day, I came across this video on Facebook. The first thing my brain registered was, okay, cosplay. I enjoy anime. I like the Apothecary Diary. I love Jujutsu Kaisen. When is the next season coming out? But why is he in cosplay cutting meat? Understandable, the dating pool nowadays is worse than trash.
Jana.
The title of this video is why are young Chinese women hiring cosplayers and going on dates with their virtual lovers? Matilda in the video is currently on a date with her boyfriend Silas. Silas is a character from her favorite video game called Love and Deep Space. It's an otome game that we are about to get into. But first, let's talk about otome game. Otome game is a story-based romance video game targeted towards women with a female protagonist as the player character. Generally, one of the goals besides the main story goal is to develop a romantic relationship between the female main player character and one of the secondary lead characters who are usually male. In the video, we could see that Matilda is on a date with Silas, cause commissioned by Morning. So Morning is the name of this girl. Cause commissioning is becoming very, very popular. Cause commission is paying someone to embody a character for you. Let's talk about Morning, the cause commissioning. It's a lot of work. When Morning received a booking, she would have to send her client a questionnaire. Inside that questionnaire includes questions like, how would you like to be addressed? Are you legal, girl? Is this your first time? What's the purpose of this? What do you want out of this arrangement? What's the vibe? Do you want it to feel like datey or do you want to feel like friends hanging out? What is your personality? What's your height? Now let's talk about Matilda, the cause commissioner. To Matilda, this is like spending on a favorite hobbies of hers. She says she's not demanding anything romantic. She just wants it to feel like hanging out, but you are holding Silas' hands. Everything is paid for by Matilda. This whole arrangement costs anywhere between $40 to $220 per 8-hour session, depending on the location, the cosplayer, and the activities that they are doing. I don't know about you, but that does not sound cheap to me, okay? This arrangement would not have happened if there were not otome games. Let's talk about the first otome game quickly. The first one is acknowledged as Angelique. Originally, this game was made for preteen and younger teenager girls, but was popular with older teenagers and people in their 20s. This is very interesting because based on the statistic that I saw, Love and Deep Space, I know for sure is very popular among people in their 30s. Angelique was also developed by an all-woman team. According to 2 game developers in this industry, Automate and Info, what makes these games so appealing is 2 things: personal bonds and storytelling. So for example, traveling with your boyfriend, meeting new people, and those relationships slowly feeding your relationship with your in-game partner. In otome games, there are also heart-fluttering moments. So these are the romantic moments that makes you kick your feet, these are the emotional payoff in the story, and every player's love. I have, I think, 2 for you later. Majority of otome games players are women. There are more and more men players. It's also becoming popular in the gender neutral and queer communities. As a woman, okay, I can totally see the appeal of otome games. I love romance, I love angst, and most of all of those with a good plot, okay? People play these games not just for the romance side of it, but also storytelling and the world building and the themes. So let's get into the storytelling, world building, themes, and plot of Love and Deepspace to truly understand why it's so special. First of all, disclaimer, everything that I'm about to tell you is based off my research. If you play this game and you feel like there's more to add to this, please let me know down in the comments below. I am sure that there's more that you can tell me. With that said, let's get into it. To start, we are in 2034. The world that you live in is called Lunapolis. Yes, I'll be putting you in the story. It's sleek, it's futuristic, glowing cities, advanced tech. Everything feels like it's from a sci-fi movie. It's giving cyberpunk, it's giving Blade Runner. Beneath all of that, there is this sense of something still unsettled. That's because 14 years ago, something huge happened. The Chrono Rift catastrophe. A crack opened up in the sky, and through it came mysterious, terrifying beings called Wanderers. They are from another dimensional world. Cities were destroyed because of them, and ever since then, the world that you live in has been trying to rebuild itself. Lunapolis is what it has become. Also, because of the disaster, some people gain powers. They call the new power Evol. People with new power is called Evolver, aka evolved humans or super evolved human. Some can bend time, others can manipulate energy, and some, like you, are only discovering what you can do. They're ranking to the evolvers powers, so C to S. C being the lowest, S being the highest. Not only you are only discovering what powers you have, your rank cannot be determined. Every time they try to check on your rank, it says unstable. You, the player, in the start, you join the Deepspace Hunter Association group. You hunt wanderers and kill them, basically. Through your journey, through the storyline, you will meet 5 characters, aka love interest. We have Xavier, we have Raphael, Zane, Caleb, and Silas. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to talk to you about Silas today because of Matilda. What makes him so special?
I took a big risk to snatch prey from the nest. The reward needs to be better than that.
You first meet Silas when you get kidnapped. You get kidnapped because you were trying to figure out the 80th core in your heart. So from my understanding, 80th core is like Affinity Stone from Avengers. It amplifies the user's power. You don't know why you have it, why it's in your heart, but you know that it's rare and someone wants it. You get kidnapped in N109. I'm just gonna give you a little bit of a background. N109 is the Undercity. So you can think about this as the Undercity of Arcane, not so advanced, not so developed, dangerous, where you reside in Lunapolis, like the Piltover of Arcane, very advanced, developed, and safe. You suspect that someone or some gang in the Undercity called, give me a moment, Onichinus. Onichinus. Please don't kill me. Someone in this gang is trying to get it out of your heart. A little bit about this gang. This gang is very powerful and they are very well connected. They can do anything they want, including lawless things. Their base of operations is in N109, where you got kidnapped. You think to yourself, if they want it so bad, they must have some answers to my questions. So your plan was to use yourself as bait, and you did. You get to N109, you get kidnapped. When you open up your eyes, you are in a car. Through your blindfold, you see one man in black mask, black cap, black clothes. He's driving somewhere, you're in the back seat. He's talking to himself about how he's lost and the car suddenly breaks down. The next thing you know, you're outside of the car, blindfolds off. You are in the middle of nowhere. He tells you,
Shut up. Let me inspect the goods before I hand you over. Where did you hide the ether core?
so You are right. Somebody wants the 80 core in your heart. Suddenly, out of nowhere, you hear a voice echoing around you. Da 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 da.
Kidnapping Anna Kindness's prey without letting us know. That's not exactly polite.
Onigenist. Poof, you see two figures. You don't know whose side they are on, but your kidnapper looks pissed and he says,
I see. Silas sent you. But the ether core is mine.
You hear the gun go off, but the bullet never hits you. Instead, it gets caught mid-air by a red wind spinning like a storm. It's like an invisible force grabs it, squeeze it, and then the bullet crumbles into dust. I don't know what to say, but that sounds OP to me, okay? You look up from all the mess and you see the source of all that force, all that power. You see a double door fridge. I mean this, okay? This is the very first moment that you could remember for now where your love story with the red eye, 190 cm, Aries, muscular, rotten on the outside, soft and gentle on the inside, the energy manipulator, the boss of the notorious Onigenous gang.
You're also here for the core, right?
Even if you wanted to sell your soul, you still have to find someone who can pay the price.
That catches you off guard because you've heard this voice before. He lifts your chin and tells you,
Look at me.
is this supposed to be romantic? No, because the more you look at him, the more your head starts to hurt. You see one of his eyes glow red. Out of rage, you pick up a stick and use it to scratch his face. But the open wound quickly closes itself. The next thing you know, he's choking you with one hand. Y'all need Jesus. He says, this is to jog your memory. You two have actually met before. The love story between you and Silas is enemies to lover trope, which I gotta admit is one of my favorite trope as well in most romance books. So let's talk about Silas and his background, and then we'll talk about how you and Silas have actually met before. Although Silas is such a strong, dark, intimidating character, he was not always like this. Silas is from Philos, so thousands of years ago, dragons ruled Philos. Dragons were not the guardians as we know depicted today. They were wicked creatures that fed on human souls. Humans and desires, they go together. Dragons were able to see desires in human when they look at them. The greedier the soul, the more irresistible they are to dragons. Silas too was a dragon. In fact, he was the last dragon ruler of Philos, but he was a dragon that looked a little too human. You know, he was not fearless then. As a kid, when his horns and tails started to grow, he was so afraid that he tried to shave them off. As an adult, he was destined to rule Philos, but instead, he was rejected by his own people, his own dragons. So now let's talk about how you met Silas. You and Silas met in the abyss. Okay, abyss is like into the abyss you go. It's like a prison in the middle of nowhere. You were sent to the same prison cell. You, my girlie, were a condemned sorceress. They have deemed you to be greedy and evil for being a sorceress, I guess. The first thing Silas told you when he saw you was,
I like your eyes. They are beautiful. In them, I can see your hatred, defiance, and greed for life.
he saw how much you wanted to live. So you stabbed him in the chest. Nice! After this friendly encounter, you and Silas made a deal. You gave him your soul and he sets you free from the prison. Which makes me question, that prison is definitely not designed for Silas, and why did you guys share the same prison? The dragons apparently are not that smart. Because of this, your souls are bound together forever. Let's talk about the sentiment moments, right? In Otomi games, you will find these moments that make you blush. Maybe something that they say, maybe something that they do. It's the same thing when it comes to reading romance books. Some parts makes you want to kick your feet. Some parts makes you giggle, like you just discovered giggling. In Otomi games, they actually have a category for this. These moments are called heart-fluttering or tender moments. These are the moments when your love interest is raw and vulnerable towards you. So let's talk about two of it. The first one, Razor Dance. So in Razor Dance, you told Silas that he was always pestering you, turning your life upside down, that you'd be much rather far away from him. He was teasing you before that. He was basically teasing you about how you were talking about him with your friends.
Aren't I classified as top secret in your association's files? Must have put in a lot of work to access those.
And how it looks like you want to go to his associate's birthday party so bad. He says,
Sorry, sweetie, but I'm afraid there's only one invitation to this birthday party. You want to tag along that badly, huh? Well, your wish will come true this time.
his reply shocks you because you did not mean what you said. He continues with,
Or are you worried about me? Why don't we make a bet? If I come back safe and sound, I'll disappear from your life. I won't pester you ever again. And if I don't return, well, no one will pester you again either way. How does that sound? This could be our last conversation, Miss Hunter.
he's giving you the chance to never see him again. The gang leader, the former king, dragon ruler, is giving you the chance to never see him again. And from the sound of it, it sounds like it makes him sad to have to say it. And then I have another one for you, Greedy Heart. This is like my favorite. Okay, I'm not so sure whether in this timeline you and Silas are officially together already or not, but it sounds an awful lot like you guys are already together. In this episode, can I call it that? I'm not so sure. You let me know. You are stuck in one of Silas' apartment around the world because the guy is filthy rich. You are not like,
Oh my god, I've been trying to check in your apartments long time already.
you know. You were telling him if it were not because there were no available hotels close by and it's raining outside, else you would not be there. But when there were a hotel room close by, you are not sure whether you should go or not. Silas immediately jumps on it and tells you that the door is right there. You're not happy about this because why is he showing you the door so quickly? Is it because he actually wants you to leave? When you asked him for an umbrella, he says he doesn't own one. The umbrella right there that you see right there is actually an umbrella shaped pew pew. After this, you know that, he doesn't want you to leave at all. And then you force him to push you in his wheelchair for fun. You tell him that since you are staying with him, he has to be responsible for you. That's so cute, honestly. And to that he says,
I'm only responsible for what's mine. Sit tight.
the thing about Silas is that all his apartments are empty. He's not, exactly a saint. He's quite a wanted man. To keep his apartments empty is not to leave weaknesses, what he say. I suppose things that would give other parties, other gangs, other associations leverage over him. Then you decide to write his name on a foggy glass. It's raining outside, okay? You quickly erase it, of course, because I could never leave evidence. Then he's like, why did you erase it?
It looked good. Why did you erase it?
He walks up to the window, the part where you can't reach because he's 190 cm and area is muscular, and he writes your name.
There. Now you can't erase it, sweetie.
And you're thinking to yourself,
Oh my god, that's so cute. But at the same time, I'm gonna be gone. That name is gonna be gone.
next day, you see your name still there. Is it possible that it's still there if it's not raining? I don't know. Since there's nothing to entertain you with, he went out and he bought Pile It Up. It's like Jenga with instructions.
You want to play? Someone told me to be responsible for her. And since she was apparently bored out of her mind yesterday, I bought it to entertain her.
So y'all playing Jenga. He took one out and it says, look at them. So he looks at you.
Look at them. The block tells me to.
I don't think he's looking at you like y'all been together for like 50 years and he's tired of your poop for 45 years ago. He's just looking at you like a first love. When it's time for the two of you to leave, because you are supposed to be back in Lincoln, where your hunter school is, he suggests to play another round because it feels like, you know, the both of you just don't want to leave.
I accidentally knocked it over. Let's do another round. We're not in a rush. If you want, we can also keep playing on the jet.
He doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want you to leave, although y'all are going to be flying on a private jet together. He suggests that you could continue on the plane, but you says no and you start placing Jenga blocks all over the place. Each Jenga block has an instruction. Make them laugh in a drawer, caress them in the wall cabinet, hug them in living room shelf. You don't want him to erase you. That's what you were doing. And he says,
I see. A wild cat is marking her territory in my house.
in real life, you know what we do? We leave bobby pins and hair. I could totally see the appeal. If you're a Silas girly, please let me know down in the comments your favorite moment of Silas. I want to know more. You see, I feel like if Love and Deepspace wrote a book, I would totally read it, buy it, devour it. I think the creators are so smart. They are geniuses. Through the storyline and visuals, they are able to evoke emotions among the players, and in return, players are so loyal towards this game. Maybe to some of them, this is more than a game to them. Now, whether this relationship that we have with these games is healthy or not, there's definitely a lot to talk about, I feel. But on the fundamental level, I don't think that there's anything wrong with finding comfort in a game. As a gamer, loading up Hogwarts Legacy, Warframe, or even Apex Legends after a long day or in my free day feels great. Compared to the games that I mentioned, I believe Otome games include way more emotional investments. Essentially, you are playing a dating game, and dating in Otome, based off my research, feels more free and no social pressure. It really made me think, especially after watching one of Chloe's interviews, how as women we sometimes feel like we might have to pick and choose a family or career. For me, I'm still not sure if I want a family because, you know, trauma. But I wanted to find my person and be with my person regardless. There's nothing like going home to someone and just finding comfort in that. You know that someone cares for you. That person doesn't need to be with you but wants to spend their life with you. That is so special. And in Otome games, I feel like it fulfills the role of a partner who is understanding, caring, and will always be there for you. To find a partner like this in the real world, you would have to go out, meet people, explore connections. This journey can be very, very beautiful. This journey also allows us to learn more about what we like, what we can bring to the table, how we express love, how we receive love. But your person might not appear on your preferred timeline, for example. In the real world, you may not have the luxury of free time to spend on exploring a connection. In Otome games, you can explore any connections you like when you want to. I've read that this is a gacha game, and for free-to-play players, you will have to save and use your in-game currency wisely. But as you progress through the story, you will meet all these 5 different personalities, but they are all very understanding, caring, and will always be there for you. These 5 characters are also the ideal partner. On one hand, I can see why it's so appealing. On the other hand, it feels a little scary that a game could give you that. Now let's talk about social pressure. Because in live rule book written by society and tradition, we are often told that we'll find true love in our 20s, maybe in our teens. And then after that, when we are legal and good, we get married, we have kids in our 30s, we are working and building our family.
Fetch.
I remember thinking, darn, I need to find someone right now. And because of this thinking, I would back out of a connection as soon as I feel like there's something wrong. I did feel like dating was less of an experience and connection share between two people, more like a, does this person check everything in my list? This behavior is unhealthy. It was not dating for yourself. I was dating for expectations, for other people's expectations. So, with all of this in mind, is it any wonder why the connections that we find in otome games can feel so appealing? What are your thoughts? You let me know. Have you ever felt this sort of pressure in dating? Let's continue our discussion in the comments down below. And I'll see you next time.